Conversations with Nicole. Let's talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about, let's talk about, yeah. Let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host. And Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Mindset Monday, which is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to talk about something intriguing and interesting and enlightening. And today, my very special guest is Mr. Ozzie Daniel, also known as the closer. He doesn't close us out every month, but he is closing us out for the month of October. And so we are super excited and delighted to have him here with us. But before I bring Ozzie on, I need to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? Because we are live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn. And this is an interactive conversation. Your comments and questions are welcome. Our topic tonight is finish what you started. It's a mindset thing. Finish what you started. We are in the midst of Q4, quarter four for 2024. And so maybe you had some things that you kind of started or thought about starting, but you didn't. And so it's a good time to revisit maybe your goals, your resolutions from the beginning of the year and set some intention behind some all of that. So anyway, we're going to get into all of that in just a moment. But I see a few folks have joined us. Miss Jeanette in Miami Gardens. Thank you for being here. Miss Maya Butler. Greetings, everyone. Finish what you started. This is going to be good. Yes, it is, Maya. Maya's right here in Tallahassee. I appreciate you. And my mom is on. So something very special about my mom today. Today is my mom and my dad's 57th wedding anniversary. So happy anniversary, mom and dad. I love you. I'm grateful for you. And listen, I just thank God for your union. So happy anniversary. And here's to many, many more. All right. So Miss Portia is on. Thank you for being here, Miss Portia. I appreciate you. All right. So y'all bear with me because I did not pull up Ozzie's information. Hold on. All right. So Ozzie, the short bio is that Ozzie graduated with honors within 5 years in psychology and organizational leadership. He served in the U.S. Navy, completed many tours. He also served in many departments in the communications field and special forces in high terrain areas. He is a servant leader. He enjoys serving others while building a mind of faith and gratitude in the community while working in the mental health field as a clinician, family coordinator, and a mental health skills builder. He focuses more on the holistic approach to mental health that includes the whole well-being to enhance the quality of life. He also enjoys relaxation, listening to jazz, reading, cooking his favorite Caribbean meals, with the vision of opening up a jazz corner for others to relax and unwind from their labor. And a few of his favorite sayings are no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Also, it doesn't cost a thing to be kind, but be kind to yourself first. So y'all help me welcome Mr. Ozzie Daniel.
Good evening. Hey,
Hey,
Nicole.
what's going
All
on?
right. Hey, good evening to everyone and all those about to come and those
Yeah,
who are about to view later and view it again and again and again.
indeed.
We're about to get down before the year closes. Can you believe that?
I can't. It's
Oh my
happening so fast. It's happening so fast.
goodness. I mean, flew by so quick.
It did. It did.
Yes. But in everything, give thanks.
Absolutely. All right, Ozzy. So you know my question, right?
What's your question today? You
Who
know, it could
is
change, it varies, you
changing? No,
know.
it's not changing. Who is Ozzy Daniel? Not what you do, but who are you?
Who I am. I am that I am, as I normally say. You know, I worship Elohim because in him is everything and everything is him. And more, I've learned to cultivate and draw nigh so he will draw nigh to me so I could be the best that I could be in all that I could think of and feel for and desire. So my heart will be glad. I am father, brother, friend to all my friends that are friends and those who are not, still a friend because kindness is a good thing. I love, as Nicole just shared, just about everything that I actually told her and write up for her. So when that question come about, it will be answered. But in all terms, you know, I just finished cooking a nice pot of curry chicken and rice, as she
Okay.
just about fixing food. But that's for tomorrow, though, because I had a early dinner because I knew I was coming on and I wanted to be all digested and
Mm,
all good and ready to go. So, you know, at the bottom of the pot, right? You still have all that curry flavor in there.
uh-huh.
What I did, I went ahead and said, I got creative. Put some water up in there, cut up some bay leaves and some cilantro, fix up some rice, put some chicken breasts up in there, chop it up, and fix it up like a pilau.
Oh, okay.
So the whole place is just smelling of
Never a curry, huh?
curry. So, but it's going right in the fridge after we finish this evening.
All right. So Ozzy is expressing his love for cooking and good food. So that
Hey,
is part of who he is.
that's part of it right there. If
Indeed.
you love it, you might as well do it yourself so you could enjoy it and share it with others, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Miss Maya said happy anniversary to mom and dad.
Happy anniversary.
And Miss Olivia is with us tonight. Thank you for being here, Olivia. So again, our topic is finish what you started. It's a mindset thing. Before we jump into our topic, I definitely want to read my disclaimer since I have a clinician on, and that's all topics past, present, and future on Conversations with Nicole are for informational purposes only. They are not to be used as a diagnosis for treatment or answer to any personal issues related to the topic being discussed before, during, or after the program. All right. So let's dive in. Finish what you started. As I stated in the intro, it is Q4, last quarter of 2024. And so maybe we have some unfinished business, some things that we wanted to do, some goals that we set, resolutions, what have you, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what
So
should we do?
so the question is why?
Oh, it's a myriad of reasons why. Let's ask the
You know,
let's
why?
let's ask the viewers if they have some things that they started that they have not finished, or
Mhm.
maybe they wanted to start in 2024. And I will be the first to raise my hand. I have a few things that I have kind of started or wanted to start.
Right.
I also have some things that I did start, and I'm pretty proud of those. But there's some things, you only have 24 hours in a day. You got to just prioritize that time. But anybody else on the live has some things that they wanted to do in 2024 that they just didn't get to. Let us know in the comments. Let us know. Let us know. No judgment, but
None at all.
life
None at
happens.
all.
What about you, Ozzy?
I believe that I am chunking along for
Okay.
the year. I am. And I am just seeing everything unfolding as time
Mhm.
progresses.
Okay.
And I just said to myself, okay, come January, Lord's willing, I'm just going to go out on a new venture and take all the books
Uh-huh.
and all the notes and
Uh-huh.
all the videos and everything that I have done over the few years
Mm-hmm.
and start writing
Oh,
and
okay.
put it in a nice book and organize everything in one book.
So that sounds
So
like a
as
2025 goal.
yes,
Okay.
2025. I told two of my friends, so I know they're gonna hold me accountable, and
Okay.
they're gonna say, "Hey, Ozzie, how's that looking?" You
All
know,
right.
one of my friends actually has sent me a journal because they say, "Man, you just got too much information in your mind to not have that written down." You
Mm,
know, so I was
gotcha.
grateful for that, and I have all over the place, just books here and there.
Mm,
Always writing every morning because I have that routine, you know. So having that morning routine is the number one thing that you got to have so you could start that trend and have that self discipline.
gotcha. So
Yes.
Maya said, absolutely. Thank you for your honesty and transparency, Maya. Appreciate it. And Miss Olivia said, I'm taking life one day at a time. All right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Ozzy, you
Yes.
finish what you started. It's a mindset thing. Your question
Mm,
was why? Why have we not finished the things that we started?
right. And one of the big thing is, the only limitation there is the one in our mind.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we set that limitation from the jump. So it could be from challenges
Mm-hmm.
or overcoming setbacks.
Mm,
But what are we really learning from them setbacks? Because those setbacks supposed to set us on a course where we could actually pluck from it and say, okay, I saw where I fell short at. I saw where the distraction at, but we have to have that end goal in mind,
mm,
because if we don't have that end goal in mind, we're not going to be successful,
right.
because that capital P word called procrastination is always standing there to delay.
It
But
is.
at the same time, as we always spoke about it many times, if it's not written down, 9 times out of 10, it's going to have wings and it's just going to fly away.
Mm, okay.
So,
All right. So some barriers to
mhm,
us not finishing what we started. I heard procrastination. I heard not writing it down.
mhm.
I would say also priority.
Yes, you got to prioritize everything,
Things
because
that come
mhm,
along that maybe we reprioritize. So
yeah,
the goal that we had, or this thing that we wanted to do, it was prioritized less, or we prioritize some other things more than those things, that thing, right?
right, exactly. And we have to remember that everything originates from thought.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts, that is the foundation right there that you got to build on. Is
Right.
your thoughts. What is your thoughts? And do you know what you want?
Mm.
And not just knowing what you want, you got to be definite about what you want. You
Mm-hmm.
have to actually visualize it in your mind, in your imagination, with that goal and destination in your mind. So it's all come down to what's your thoughts and what's holding you back, and what is the mental laziness that is procrastinating you from actually meeting that goal. But the key is, right, how well do you finish small little tasks? Because that's how you build up to that bigger task. And that's how we do that, is how do you complete those small tasks?
So let me pause. I see Kiosha has joined us. Thank you for being here, Kiosha. And Miss Sonia B is here with us as well. Thank you for being here, Sonia. So you said a few things. You mentioned
Mm,
small task.
yeah.
I think that is also I see that as a technique that we can use for finishing those things that we started.
Yeah. And when you finish those small tasks, have a little celebration, for finishing that task, no matter what it may be,
Mm-hmm.
because you started and you finish it. Now, the journey in between is the work that you had to put in, the mental work, the mental energy to complete that task.
Indeed. So let me pause you. Let me pause you. Maya said that's true. My problem is remembering the thought that I started with and not putting the plan on the back burner because I've stored it away in my later thought bank.
I call that the filing cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
The
File it.
mental filing cabinet. So, one thing, Maya, actually writing it down and
Mm-hmm.
following through with the plan step by step, you will be able to bring that into manifestation, because it will not be in reality until your mind and the energy release the potential that is within you to bring it into reality. So no matter how big or small it starts from that thought process, as you said, and putting that plan together and not on the back burner. Because one thing we don't want to happen is years and years and years go by, and yet this is facing us face to face in
Mm-hmm.
our mind, and we have not made a step to it. So one thing we don't want to allow, Nicole, is this, is
Mm-hmm.
to come into our later years, and then because we did not put in the effort to work on those tasks, now we end up falling into depression.
No, we don't want that.
You'll fall into depression because now you feel in that guiltness that come upon your own thought and your own mind for delaying, for not progressing on that. You
So
know,
let
yeah,
me
go ahead.
let me ask you. I'm gonna go back because you mentioned visualization and you kind of just kept going, but I think that there should be a little bit of time spent there.
Okay.
How many of you, and I'm talking to the viewers, spend time visualizing those
Hmm.
things that you want?
Yeah,
And when I say spend time visualizing, it could be every aspect of it. The color,
absolutely.
the lighting, the ambiance, I whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but do you spend time really thinking about that thing, visualizing, imagine yourself achieving it or um reaching that goal or making that connection or whatever the case may be. All right, we're getting several comments. So um let me see. And I saw your question, Olivia. I will get back to it. All right, the LP Dimension. Good evening, everyone listening while exercising, something I've needed to return to since the spring. Wonderful. Well, we're glad you're doing it right now. All right. Keisha, thank you for being here. She said, yep, one of the enemy's tactics. Okay. Maya, I do, but not enough time. I can admit that. All right. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. Olivia, I struggle with visualization. I'm not right brained. So there's an exercise under that muscle, maybe, right?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. LP, self doubt and analysis paralysis are barriers I've built around finishing. Well, thank you for your honesty and transparency as it relates to that.
Hmm.
And Keisha said, I visualize all the time. Okay. Miss Jeanette, I visualize, but I'm surrounded by negative persons who have negative thoughts. Thank you for sharing that as well. That can be challenging, I'm sure.
Hmm.
So, see, Ozzy, why I wanted to slow that down because
Yeah, it's a
that's a,
beauty.
that's a great foundation. Like if you can't visualize it or you have trouble visualizing, well, then no wonder you're having trouble finishing
Right.
what you started, right?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And one of the greatest way to do that in visualizing is taking possession of it in your mind.
Mm.
If you take possession of it in your mind, everything going to start working towards that for your favor. Because if you could only receive what you believe.
Mm.
You can't give what you don't have, but
Mm.
you could receive what you believe, because if you definitely believe in it and you know what you want to the point that you could visualize it and take possession of it in your mind, everything going to start releasing from within.
So,
And
so let
mhm,
me pause you right there because those
yes,
words are just really powerful. You can only receive what you believe.
yeah,
So, again, I'm slowing this thing way down
it's
because
good then.
I really want us to receive this, right? So, do
Right,
you really believe that
absolutely.
you can achieve or receive whatever that thing is that you say you want to do? Do you
Right.
really believe it? Do you really believe it? Like, be honest. Do you
Be honest to
believe
yourself. You got to be honest to yourself. That's number one right there, because that's where the integrity is at. Do you believe it?
it? Mm-hmm.
And if you believe it, do you conceive it?
Mm,
And if you conceive it to the point, and nothing could stop you if you totally believe it,
mm-hmm.
because you already possess it in your mind. So the only thing that could follow through is action.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Keisha says sometimes we think about it too much and do nothing about it.
Hmm.
Dreamers. My pastor
Uh-huh.
used to say the most wealthiest people are in the grave. And I've heard that saying as well before.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, Olivia, being able to see it before you see it. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Being able
That's
to
how it works.
before you see it. And this first see it is to visualize it.
That's
But
right.
as Ozzie is saying, taking possession of it in your mind.
Hmm.
What does it feel like in your mind to have this thing happen? You
Right.
know,
I mean, and that's one thing God gave us: imagination. It's
hmm,
so beautiful. You could, as you just said, you could see the colors, the ambience, everything in
yeah,
your imagination,
hmm,
to the point that you could see every corner. You could live in that house in your mind by taking possession of it before you even live in it and manifest it.
hmm,
But if you let doubt come in and fear come in,
yeah,
well, guess what? The positive thing that comes about is there goes your task.
hmm,
There goes your task. So overcoming it and overcoming those challenges is the most important thing, which is one thing: yourself. Because as I stated in the beginning of this conversation, is the only limitation there is in your own mind,
yeah,
not in someone else's mind.
hmm,
Now, they could be a challenge to you from reaching your goal, but it's not the only limitation is in your own mind. Because if you could see it and believe it, you already possess it in your mind. The only thing that's going to happen is action. Now, all the tools, all the people that need to help you fulfill that goal or meet that goal is going to start coming towards you.
hmm,
But you have to believe without doubting,
right.
you know? And
So
yes.
Olivia said, I think of Walt Disney. His vision was so real.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And we can learn a lot from it.
Yeah,
Yeah, learn.
yeah, for sure. Okay.
And the same thing, the same way Walt Disney had that vision and work on that vision, you have the same potential. We
Mm,
all have the same potential. None of us is
yeah.
limited, I should say.
Hmm.
But the key is how you going to build upon it.
Right. Good
How you
question.
going to build upon it?
Good.
What books are you reading? What are
Yeah.
you studying? What are you really giving your attention to?
Mm,
Because what we give our attention to, that's what we become.
yeah. So I would say, as you said, what are you studying? And my next thing was going to be like research, especially if this is
Mhm.
not an area that you are familiar with or you have expertise in or what have you. So kind of, um, you know, studying, doing the research, maybe even talking to, and some of the research could be talking to people that are in a position that you are trying to get to, or are doing that thing, or have this thing that you are going after. So they would maybe serve as mentors of sorts,
Yes,
in terms of kind of giving you the ropes to skip in the know, right?
yes, indeed.
Yes.
Absolutely. And are you willing to work on what you believe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because God Himself is not going to release what's already in you until you start working,
Mm.
because there's a saying that faith without work is dead.
Yeah.
But I really say faith without work is unproductive.
Mm.
There's no productivity without work. You're
Mm.
not going to see the end result without work. If we could think about like a sailor have a destination, and that port he got to hit.
Mm.
He have to go through the waters.
Yeah.
He have to go through the navigation system. He have to plot every single thread of water and latitude, longitude, and all of the instrument to
Mm-hmm.
get to that port. If he end up in another port, he did not reach his destination. But
Mm-hmm.
even after he reached another port, he could still pull out and head towards that port, because sometimes we have to change that course and adapt to certain things so we can reach that goal.
Mm.
Because once we have that end goal in mind, it's nothing will stop us, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be willing to say, okay, if I fail, I'll learn from my failure. If I
Mm.
make a mistake, I will learn from my mistake. But the last thing I'm going to do is give up.
Yes.
Of
So
course.
so we got two people that just joined us, Quasi in Atlanta. Thank you for being here. And Brother Warren Cave here in Tallahassee. Appreciate you for being here. So I want to go back to Olivia's question,
Mhm.
which was, what if you're feeling overwhelmed by too many tasks?
Oh, well, Olivia, I recommend that you focus on one task
Hmm.
at a time. What is the priority of all those tasks? And
Hmm.
focus on that one task, complete that one task, and then go to that other task.
Okay.
Yes. And sometimes you may have to take a little break from that task and then rejuvenate yourself and refocus, breathe again, and go back to that task. I don't believe personally one should move on to another task until they complete that first task that
Hmm.
they have set in mind, because that's like chasing two rabbits.
Hmm.
you know but at the same time, write it down. I cannot overemphasize on that. Write it down, because at least you could take that pen and put a check mark,
Hmm.
or just cross it off on your list.
What's your thought about timelines, Ozzy?
Timelines, you have your short term and you have your long terms.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the short term goal and what's the long term goal? But at the same time, you could always adjust. Couple things may have come up to prevent you from meeting that task at a certain date,
Mm-hmm.
but you may have to shift it to the right or shift it to the left, but don't take your eyes off of it.
Yeah.
Because I think once we take our eyes off of it, now we lose insight
Mm.
and we losing that vision, and it will not be a success until it is completed.
Okay. Warren had a question. He said, I read books and I'm very stuck in finding books other than the Bible that I can get to read that helps me get more understanding on helping people understand how to identify who they are as a Christian. I'm not trying to be religious, but I'm on a 9-month mission. People are being taught to find their identity, and I want to teach more ways to identify through Christ. So what's your question, Warren? I didn't get the question. I think he was giving us the background. So give us the question. But he's saying he reads books and finds books other than the Bible that he can get to read that help him get more of an understanding or helping people understand how to identify who they are as a Christian.
Okay, my question is now, Mr. Warren, do you understand what it is to be a Christian? Do you understand what you're trying to share and teach? Because first, you have to take that knowledge within yourself to gain understanding before the application could come about on it. And I do understand that you say you're on a 9-month mission, but I recommend that you stick to your studying, you gain the insight that you need, get the revelation that you need so you could be able to impart and break it down to others that are listening, you know? And there are many.
Okay, he said, I'm trying to find books about finding your identity, but in Christ. So is that your question? You're asking Ozzie to
Okay.
identify those books? Just let us know, Warren, and we can have that conversation kind of offline. He said, I'm a teacher and I'm trying to come up with a curriculum other than my own knowledge.
Okay, well, you definitely have to pull out those books. But what my question is, what books so far have you been reading, or did you say other than the Bible?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's pick that up offline, Warren, if that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we are a little more than halfway through our talk. So for those of you who are just tuning in, I'm on with Mr. Ozzie Daniel, who is a clinician in the Virginia Beach area. And we're talking about finish what you started. It's a mindset thing. Thus far, we've talked about some of the barriers to finishing what we started, which include uh, we said not writing it down, but I feel like it's not having a written plan. Um, Other priorities, procrastination. Um, Ozzie called it mental laziness, but we also have talked about some techniques, some tools that can be used to help you finish what you started. And the first thing I think is visualization.
Yes.
Visualization, and under visualization we talked about taking possession of it in your mind, and you can only receive what you believe. You can only receive what you believe, and then study and research, which is work, right? And then I think part of that is writing it down, like in the midst of your study, your research, which is the work, you're writing down how you're going to get there, right?
Right. Absolutely. Warren, I have a good book for you to read by Dr. Miles Monroe, Understanding Your Potential.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look who just joined us. Nick Rains.
Oh, it's about to rain.
Hey, Nick. Thank
What's
you.
up, Nick? Good evening to you.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so I see, Nicole, you actually centered the most important part about visualization and really getting that embedded into your mind, because if it's not embedded, you have nothing to hold on to, you have no drive.
Mm,
But one of the most important thing that, and I spoke about that a few chapters back on Conversation with Nicole, desire. If you
desire.
have a burning desire in your heart
Yeah.
and you have a goal set that you really want to achieve,
Mm,
you have to see it and believe it in order to have it. Even if you go to in prayer about it, you only have to go one time and pray about it so you could get all the tools that you need within yourself and live a life of gratitude. So all of the tools and all of the information and everything could be added onto you. But the same time, you got to put in the work.
Mm-hmm. You do.
The
You
potential is not going to be released until the work is increased.
do.
And
Indeed.
I'm not talking about doing a whole bunch of different odd end jobs and stuff like that. That specific goal that is within your gut, within your belly, that intuition that say, you know what, I would like to see this happen. Because if you do one little small task and that task is accomplished and completed, the only thing going to happen is bigger and bigger and bigger tasks, because now your faith is being built.
Mm.
Oh, I could do this. I did that. Oh, I could do this too. And then there you go. The
Yeah.
momentums just keep on coming along, because now every little step counts.
Yeah.
Every little step counts. So don't give up, but it's not too late. But we have to act now, because now is the only time that we do have.
Yeah.
Not the future, because the future is not here yet. Not the past, because we can't go back to that. But what we're learning from it is really going to propel us into the next level.
Yep. I'm right here, right now.
Right
All
now.
right. So Warren said, I have that one from Miles Monroe and 2 other books. I have 3 TD Jakes books. I'm looking for recently published books. Okay, so Warren, we have to finish this offline. He said, yes, Ozzie, little steps accomplished does increase your faith and make you hungry to do more.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Okay. So that's a lot right there.
But one thing that I really want to emphasize on is overcoming challenges, and I think that's the part that beat us down so many times, is overcoming those challenges. But how do you overcome that? You have to have that positive mindset. Just like how we say Mindset Monday, you got to think positive. You got to have some positive affirmation that you say to yourself. I'm a man of quotes. I write down a whole lot of quotes. I memorize it, I paraphrase it, and I put it into my own thinking so I could use it for my own self. Why? Because at the end of the day, I'm dealing with myself, So you got to learn and grow. And don't say, oh man, and stop the blame game. The only person that is responsible is you. The only person that is responsible is me. And until we could come into that accountability, you're not going to grow. You're going to be stuck. We're going to be stuck.
So what you're saying to me is resonated with what Miss Jeanette said earlier, which was that she has some negative people around her. And so she said, I visualize, but I'm surrounded by negative persons who have negative thoughts.
Well,
and I'm sure those negative persons share those negative thoughts, which may be potentially, and I'm just kind of speaking for her in this sense, may be drowning out the positivity or her visualization of what she's trying to do. So if they
absolutely
just continue to bombard with, oh, you can't do, or that's not going to happen, or
time to change your environment. You got to change your circle. You got to change your circle. Got to change your circle, because they're going to drain you. They're not going to be uplifting. They're not going to inspire you. Everything you say, they have a counterfeit for it, and to downplay it or condescending upon it. Because if they don't see themselves in a bright light, don't expect them to see you in a bright light. So you got to change your circle, take that and say, okay, I'm a woman of value, and I'm going to place myself in a place of value where I could be around others that could build me. At the same time, I could build them by encouragement and inspiration.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because if you have a vision and a strong vision, you're only going to be around the people that is going to help you build on that vision.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is going to fall off. Why? Because it got to be strong. It got to be a burning desire to say, okay, this is what I want. Be definite about it. Look at it as a positive instrument that is going to help not just yourself, but others around you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a task right there for you to really say, okay, now I'm seeing these things on a different angle. This is the route I'm going to take, and I guarantee you, you're going to find yourself paving through that water,
Yeah.
paving through whatever situation it may be,
Mm-hmm.
but you will stay stuck.
Yeah, you can. LP, the potential won't be released until the work is increased. That resonates with me strong. I've been working on my first novel for many years. Every year I say I'll finish it.
Man, this is for you today, IP.
Yes, yes, yes. I put in the work in spurts, but I overthink and doubt even more. So we got to fight that. We got to fight it. We got to
You
fight it.
got to
We
overcome that.
got to overcome it.
Yes, get
So
back on that saddle and start riding again.
absolutely. So encouraging you, LP. Listen,
Mm.
small task, right? So
Yeah.
maybe even put some time frames on that. We talking about.
Yes.
So I started this talking about Q4, right? So we
Mhm.
have what, I don't even know, what, 10 weeks left in the year,
Okay.
maybe roughly. So see what you can do each week, LP, each week, like, whatever it is. I don't know how many chapters you planning on doing with this book, but I'm gonna get through, whatever the
Okay.
number of chapters. And then the next week I'm gonna work on the cover. And then the next week I'm gonna work on
Mhm.
how I'm going to publish it. Is that through Amazon or something else?
Yeah.
So again, encouraging you. You can do this.
So,
You can do this. You can do
so a question I have for him: are you a morning person, afternoon person, late night person? What kind of person you are, and when you feel like you do your best work?
it.
Because that's
Mhm.
very important right there.
Yeah.
Because you may have to put in some block times.
Yeah.
You
So
know, so
yeah, so do that. Maybe block
yeah.
time. And Nick is saying the same thing. And I'll pull your comment up, Nick. LP said, "Yes, amen. I believe I'm in the right place tonight. Thank you both very much. Our pleasure." So Nick said, Pomodoro technique is a great tool to stay consistent and productive. 30 minutes each task, 5-minute breaks, then repeat. So
Hmm.
maybe try that technique
Yeah.
to help you get that book done.
Yeah.
So we gotta
Because
go ahead.
yes, like for me, I do my best work in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's why I go to bed early because I'm up by 5 a.m.
Mm.
By 5 a.m., I'm up and I spend an hour in my own personal studies and my own personal development for my own self.
Yeah.
Then I start to work. I knock out everything I have to knock out by 8 o'clock, nine
Mm.
o'clock. I shift,
Yeah.
but these things come by habits. It comes by habit. So I wrote this down, Nicole.
So
Um,
before
the
you before
yeah,
you share, LP said, I tend to be a night owl, but I want to be more of a morning person. LOL. I agree. I need to designate blocks, not just I will at some point today. Yes.
yes,
So
there you
block,
go. You're on the
block
right
and
track.
committed
But
to
go to bed early and rise early. That's the best thing I could share with you. And
it. Mm.
cut off the distraction of the big disease, I call it. Sorry. Television time. How much time are you spending in front of that tube?
Yeah.
Because if you're spending so many time in front of that tube, you are not being productive in your purpose and your goal and your work to really bring whatever joy in your life and others.
Look, and this is the new tube right here.
Oh, that's even worse right there.
This the look. I don't even have to watch TV. I can be on this hour.
Everything is on there now.
Everything.
Everything. Yeah. So now, even with the telephone, even with the TV, you got to set your block time in order to be productive. If we're not doing that, we're basically going to be all over the place,
Yeah.
swinging back and forth. And then guess what? come December, when we have this conversation with Nicole on gratitude part 3, I want to hear some stories that what people been grateful for and what they have to be thankful for, because people normally do the gratitude and thankfulness on Thanksgiving. I do mine's in December,
Gotcha.
because now we're getting ready to go into a new year. But this is what I was going to say, Nicole. I wrote this down, and hopefully this, resonate with someone deeply.
Okay.
And I said, based on focus and habits, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it came to my mind, find your discipline, and there you will find your habits
Mm.
and the consistency to lead to your growth. But here comes the slide, or your downfall.
Mm.
So you're going to either get your growth, or you're going to have your downfall based on your discipline and your habits. Everything rise and fall upon habits.
Mm. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. We got a lot of comments. So let me, and several folks that have just joined us. Tiffany Blocker, here for it. Thank you, Tiffany. Lisa, this has been my journey for the past months. Thank you, Lisa, for joining us. Carl Wilcox from Miami. This is my high school classmate. Thank you for being here, Carl. I appreciate you. Let's see. Warren had a question or comment. He said, Mr. Ozzie, I have a conversation again with a mentee that constantly talks about the negative, defeat, and unbelief. What are some exercises that I can give that will help them change the narrative and see the positive? I don't like giving up, but it's frustrating.
Gratitude. What are they thankful for? They have to find something that they're thankful for, and in that's the only way to build out of that negative mindset, because
Mm-hmm.
we could go back and say, well, my parents did this, or my friends did this, or I had, like, one of my clients told me, in January he almost committed suicide because of a breakup. So mentally, people go through all of these different transitions
Yeah.
that it really take them to a different level. But
Mm-hmm.
then bringing it all back down to reality. Now that's the key right there, is coming into reality, because many of us suffer in imagination than in reality.
Yeah.
So basically, if we could come down into the realness of what's happening in our now and
Mm.
be present, all of that negativity would just fall off.
Yeah.
Because here we go again, it's a mindset thing, right? If you're holding on to something, the only thing that is going to happen is going to keep on growing. The same thing for positivity is the same thing for negativity. And
Mm.
believe me, it grows faster. Whereas positivity is more of a process, because everything is weaving around and unfolding, because perfection come out of it.
Mm.
But negativity is like a bomb, just boof. And
Yeah.
oh, that explosion was great. Do it again. That's how the mind works,
Yeah.
But in order to get out of that, we have to change the environment of our thinking. You know,
Yes.
everything is in our thoughts. So therefore, he need to find a hobby.
Yeah.
You need to find a hobby
A
that,
healthy, a healthy hobby. A healthy hobby.
yes,
A
there you
healthy,
go. Because here goes another habit.
a healthy hobby. Okay. We got Miss Tangi Jones. Good evening. Thank you for being here. Mr. Marcus Boston joined us. He said, when writing a book, it's best to prioritize time just for the book. No phone calls, text, or TV. Thank you, Marcus. He is like a 17-time author. He has
Yeah,
17, 18 books. So thank you for joining.
block time. You got to
Yes.
set them block times and stick with it.
Yeah,
And after a while, 3 weeks into it, it become a new habit.
indeed. Nick said hours like money long. Okay. Here's a little humor for us. Keisha said other distractions are family and others who think that you're up at that time. Yes, that could be. Warren, you just repeated, find your discipline and you'll find your habits and growth. LP said, I started my gardening channel this year, and that's great. I did it finally, but it's become a good excuse to sideline the novel, which came first. Ooh, all
Okay, so
about
LP, you got to prioritize your business, man.
I know all about that,
You
LP.
gotta go back and prioritize what
Do
you gotta
something
do.
totally different than what you're
Yeah, but
supposed to be doing.
celebrating your gardening though, celebrate that,
Yeah, but that's not
But
what
you gotta come back to the original task that you need to conquer.
Mhm, yes. All right. Keisha, I will definitely be watching the replay. Awesome. All right. LP is laughing. Oh goodness. All right. Nick doing a gratitude journal at least three things a day will etch new pathways in the brain, as in neuroplasticity. This also releases dopamine to the brain. Yes, come on, give them
Yes,
them counseling
very, very
techniques,
good,
counseling
very
Nick.
good.
I love it.
Yeah, so Nick is actually doing that. That's good.
Mhm. All right. So
Yeah,
that's
true
good. Good
story. True
good stuff.
story.
All right. Yes. LP
Yeah,
say yes, yes, amen. All
yeah.
right. So again,
So,
this has been a lot, and I know you probably got more for us to cover, but this
oh,
go ahead. What you got? What else? Look,
no,
'cause-
we're not even gonna go there. We just hit three spots. We got.
okay. What
I
else you
have.
got?
Uh,
What else you got?
okay. We're gonna say one thing you got. We just spoke about it. Building your identity.
Mm,
So you have to commit to finishing what you start.
mm-hmm.
You got to cultivate it and be self-disciplined about it, and be honest with yourself and have integrity about completing the task. You can't lie to yourself and say, oh, but no, now you're having cognitive dissonance.
Mm,
Yeah, Nick should know what that means. Yes. So don't say one thing and do a next, and not standing in the gap of what you're really truly supposed to be doing.
mm,
Don't be selling, broadcasting what you're doing when you're actually not doing the work.
mm,
You know, so gotta be honest with yourself. But building yourself, you never know who you may connect with.
right.
Just in small talk, small conversation, it may just bring about that same person that could help you reach your goal or assist you,
Mm-hmm.
in reaching that goal. But it needs to be honest and
Yeah.
truthful, and in that task, you could end up like Warren, inspiring others, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Yeah, inspiring others. And that's what you want to end up doing at the end of the day,
Yeah.
but cultivate and create positive habits.
Yeah. Okay.
And it got to start first thing in the morning. Got to start off first thing in the morning, not at night when you're all tired, wishing that, oh, I should have done this, or oh, I should have done that. No, start off every morning. If you have to get up 4 a.m. in the morning to get it started and rolling while everybody's sleeping, so shall it be. So shall it be. But the most important joy of it all is embracing the process.
Grace in the process. Got
You
it.
have to embrace the process and set your time limit. What date? Set that time date, because if you don't have a goal set and a time to meet that goal with the objectives to meet that goal, as I stated before, it will have wings and it will fly away.
So deadlines.
You got to set them deadlines. You got to set those and hold yourself accountable. Don't hold somebody else accountable. Hold yourself accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And the discipline will comes along with it, that more responsibility will come your way.
Mm.
And that will just help maximize your potential
Okay.
to become and to be what you were created to be, you know?
Got it.
Yes. And reflect on it
Okay.
and reward yourself. Have those little small celebrations, but If you ain't did nothing, you have nothing to celebrate about. So create something and cultivate something so you could have a reason to celebrate.
All right, so viewers, Ozzy just flew by these last ones. Like we did not go into any detail in order to keep with our time. But hopefully, especially for those of us who may be kind of, stuck in the first half, which was the visualization piece, the
Well,
study and research piece, and doing the work in terms of doing these small tasks and setting some deadlines as it relates to it. Those are some really great assignments, I think. Like we
yeah,
really kind of flush those out.
yeah,
So if you, again, find yourself especially stuck with the task, because Olivia mentioned earlier about feeling overwhelmed by the task, right?
yeah, yeah,
I think we kind of get caught up in this kind of multitasking society, thinking
yeah,
that we have to do all of the things
yeah.
simultaneously. And
No, you don't. You
I think
don't.
multitasking
And
is quite overrated.
yeah, it's you can only do one thing at a time anyway. So you might as well maximize that one thing, bring the best out of that one thing
Yeah.
before you move on to the next thing.
Hmm.
But just have it as a bullet, okay, this is next, this is next, this is next, but finish the first thing first.
Hmm.
And we hit on a big part, which is visualization, and we're all visual people,
Yeah,
but now the imagination that comes into the visualization need to be concrete.
indeed.
Let it become concrete to the point that it crystallizes in your mind,
Hmm.
that you become unbreakable. So now all the tools and everything that you need will come to you. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
But if you don't believe it and you doubt, now the delay will take place. Now,
Yeah.
just think about the children of Israel. Okay, I use that as a small example for all the churchgoers. It it took them 40 years, which
Right.
is actually 40 is a time of testing,
Mm.
anyways, spiritually speaking. But
Hmm.
it actually could have taken them 3 to 4 days to cross. But because of their doubts, because of their complaining,
Yeah.
guess what? You are not going to move on to the next level until you mature, or I mature on that level that we are on before we could move on to the next level.
Hmm.
You could only be trusted with, if you go trusted with a little and you maximize it, now you're going to be trusted with much. But
Mm.
it really starts from us. It starts from within. So visualize it, master it, flush out the negativity, and as I always tell Nicole on a regular basis, find your 20.
Find your 20.
You got to find, if you can't find 20 minutes or 24 minutes within a 24-hour period, not counting your sleep time, to get quiet,
Yeah.
get still. Believe me, you'll start to hear when you get into that position,
Hmm.
because now you're in stillness and you're in calmness, and all of a sudden you're going to start hearing what to do next
Yeah.
within your own being. But to take discipline, here we go again.
It does. It takes discipline. So we got some really great comments. Maya, it was some great nuggets. Thank you, Maya. Marcus, being burned out is a real thing. It is.
Yes, it is, Marcus. No
Nick,
joke.
multitasking can actually trigger anxiety.
That's
Indeed.
very true too.
And doing a lot and not completing anything can be defeating.
Very defeating too. And
Mm,
there goes the burnout, you
yeah.
know. And burnout is very serious, okay? Because think about it as a socket, right? Electric socket.
Hmm.
And if something burn out in there, it takes a while in your mind before, imagine now in your mind to reconnect, and all the neuroplasticity start reconnecting into the nervous system down your spine.
Mm.
because of burnout and lack of rest. But then too, before we go, I have to give we getting ready to go into the winter season.
Yes.
One thing I must say is this one thing. Make sure you are taking in proper healthy nutrition in your body. And maybe some people cannot do a thing because they're not nurturing and taking in the proper nutrition to keep their mind and brain boosted so they could have the energy to do the things they need to do. But
Mm-hmm.
your body does not make vitamin C. So basically, please take in your vitamin C's. And you're not going to get enough sunlight unless you're in Florida. So make sure you're getting in your D3 and K2. All right. This
Mm-hmm.
is from the personal corner from Dr. Oz, as they may call me. At times, just make sure you're getting those things in so you could keep your system and immune system well boosted.
Absolutely. Wonderful. All right. LP said, yes, yes, thank you. Get quiet, get into position. That's when I write best, when I'm in it, not here, there, and oh, look, I'm out of my chair. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, man. Hilarious.
All right. Marcus said, amen. Love it. All right. Wonderful. So, we are going to close out. We are at our hour, just a little bit over our hour. So I'm gonna give Ozzie to give some closing remarks, give him an opportunity to give some closing remarks and tell the people how they can connect with you, Mr. Ozzie Oz. Mr.
Okay.
Oz.
So, one of the most important things to remember is where your fear is, that's where your task is at. And the psychologist Carl Jung actually wrote that. And your thoughts, what are you thinking? What are you meditating on? What actually you focusing on a daily basis, in and out? You have to realize you have to find your purpose. If you don't find your purpose, you're not going to find your task. If you don't find your purpose, you're not going to find that will to go along with that task to bring out whatever within you or your imagination or your desire into reality. Everything got to come out into reality one way or the other. So it's either going to be positive or negative. But whatever happens, we can learn and grow from it. It's never too late once we remain in our now. And focus on your thoughts. What's your thoughts? Because that's what holding all of us back. Because if you could think it and you could conceive it, you could have it. I don't care what it is, but you got to believe it. So keep the end goal in mind and stay disciplined. And if you have any mindset of retirement, get that out of your mind because once we have breath in our body, work, 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 so the potential could be released within you to so we could become and you could become the best you could be for not just yourself, but for everyone else around you because you're a gift. But if you don't think so, you can't have it because a man is only what he think and you will not going to rise higher than our own thoughts. That's why the word said, whatsoever man thinketh, so is he.
Mm.
So think big so you can receive big. Oh, yeah. How could I be reached? Um, I'm on Facebook, Ozzie Daniel. You could email me, the ozcorner@gmail.com, or you could connect with me on Ozwiz2819 on IG, but either way, I'm not hard to find. Just reach out, inbox me, and let's keep the conversation going, as Nicole will say majority
That's
of the
right.
time.
Don't be stealing my thunder.
Shake it with the lightning.
All right. I hope you all have found this beneficial. As Ozzie just said, let's keep this conversation going. And if you have, let us know. Like this video, like this live, share it with somebody, tag a friend. And yeah, let's finish what we started. We
Yeah,
still got time.
yeah.
look, while it's still day,
Mm-hmm.
still here.
And I'll be back again. This what's the last day in this Monday in
December,
December?
December 30th.
Okay. And you know what? That's my birthday month, so I'm coming.
Yes.
But we're going to focus on gratitude. So I want to hear some positive words from this audience come December on what they actually been working on and what it all of these conversation did for them and what they're grateful for and what they're going to do not January 1st, but now in their now right now.
All right. So we got what for we got 9 weeks.
9 weeks. Get
9 weeks. Nine
yeah.
weeks till December 30th. So Ozzie gonna help us close this thing out for real, for
Yeah,
real.
so start chunking on whatever you're doing, on your writing, on whatever project.
Mm-hmm.
Start working on it now because the only time you have is right now.
Right now. All right. Nick said, "Great show, good people." Thank you, Nick. Nile Valley Temple of Sister Abanichi. Yes, peace and blessings. She just joined us. Thank you for joining us. LP, that's a gem. Where your fear is, that's where your task is. Dang. Yes.
Mm,
Thanks for starting my week, helping me get in the right mindset. Our
yeah, that's what's up.
think big.
There you
Yes.
go.
Thank you, Marcus. Carl Wilcox. Very helpful information. Thank you. Our pleasure, Carl. Thank you for joining us. Sister Eboniche, solid info. Must spend more time in the present moment, learning from past experiences and not forcing the outcome of the future. Absolutely.
Mhm.
LP for sure. I'll let you know how much closer I am to finishing my book at that time. Looking forward to it. So
All
please
right, sound
check
good.
in. All right. Conversations with Nicole. I hear Marcus singing my song. When he posts that, when he puts that comment in, I hear him singing my song in his mind, in my mind rather. Thank you for encouraging us. Our pleasure, Miss
You're
Jeanette. Keep
welcome.
those
Yes,
positive affirmations going, Miss Jeanette. You can do it to
yes,
negate
yes.
that negative environment that you might be in. All right.
Mm,
So for those of you who may be new to the platform, I invite you to subscribe to the Conversations with Nicole YouTube channel. We are live here on Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Focus on mental health and wellness in Black and Brown communities, primarily encouraging us to get our checkup from the neck up and be our best selves and trying to eliminate the stigma around counseling and therapy.
yes.
So, um, our show, I actually have a show tomorrow. It is election season. The general election is going on, and my show tomorrow actually is a meet and greet policy talk with Attorney Chuck Hobbs and Darrell Parks, candidate Democrat for State Senate District 3. So those of you in Tallahassee are definitely invited to, or Tallahassee area, anybody can log on, but in particularly Tallahassee area because that covers this area, that seat. Daryl and I and Chuck will be on for an interactive live talk. So you can ask your questions of him, and engage with him and hear what his platform is and why he wants the public to vote for him. So that'll be tomorrow from 7 to 7:30. And then on Wednesday, did y'all know it was dental hygiene month? Yeah, I didn't either.
I
Uh,
didn't know that either.
somebody brought that to my attention, but we will have a dental hygienist on, a brother who is here in Tallahassee on, and we're gonna be talking about the real dental hygiene. Yeah,
Okay.
real dental hygiene. So
No.
don't miss it. Cameron Fountain is his name, and he blew my mind with some of the things he was telling me about dental hygiene when we talked. So we'll be here at 8:30. It's Wellness Wednesday. And it's FAMU homecoming. So all of the rattlers, I know we are gearing up for the game and the parade and all of the things. So listen, y'all be safe out there. And hopefully I'll see you out in these Tallahassee streets this week and this weekend. But we looking forward to a good time. So thank you, Ozzie.
You're
Again,
welcome.
great
Welcome.
conversation. Great way to, you know, close out this year and get energized about those things that we may have started and need to finish. So Abaniche, thank you both for providing platforms for real issues. Our pleasure. Like and subscribe. Tell them again, Marcus. Tell them again in the back for the people who didn't hear. Like and subscribe. Absolutely. All right. Y'all have a great rest of the evening, and we will see y'all next time.
Good night.
Good night.